Children are one of the greatest assets of every nation, and the future lies in their hands.
The Christian Council of Ghana, as part of its vision, is to be a voice for the voiceless, and indeed to work for very vulnerable children to see that the quality of life is enhanced.
In our part of the world, the existence of children in a family indicates blessings from the Creator above. The Holy Book of Christians have scriptures that speak lengthy about children. Even the wisest man to ever live, according to the Bible, advised that train up a child the way he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart from it. It is an undisputable fact that adults are upgraded versions of children. It is therefore the responsibility of parents, guardians, teachers, and the state to ensure that children are protected and supported to grow in a friendly and productive environment so as to become useful to the development of the nation. However, children have become commodities sold in the market. This is a very disastrous infringement on the rights of children in our world today. This act is known as child trafficking. Child trafficking is an abuse of the fundamental human rights of children. According to Article 28, Section 2 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, every child has a right to be protected from work that threatens his education, health, and development. According to ILO IPEC 2002, traffickers refer to persons organizing the act of trafficking. They are the intermediaries between the victims and the users. Various means may be used by the traffickers to trap the victim children, including persuasion, threats, and intimidation. Trafficking always involves a journey, either within a country, from rural to urban areas, or from poor to richer countries. After relocation, trafficking always ends up in a variety of exploitation and illegality. Trafficked children are subjected to all kinds of dehumanizing activities at no fault of theirs. These include prostitution, forced marriages, hazardous domestic servitude, and sometimes begging. These children are exposed to violence, sexual abuse, and all forms of diseases, preventing them from enjoying life and their fundamental human rights to the fullest. According to the World Children's Report in 2006, many children grow up impoverished, abandoned, uneducated, malnourished, discriminated against, neglected, and vulnerable. These children are denied of good health and development, lacking the protection of family and community, often at the risk of exploitation and abuse. In Ghana, child trafficking is an age-old practice that still exists in most parts of the country, especially in the cocoa and fishing communities as well as urban areas. Many children perform hazardous work in agriculture, using tools and equipment that can be injurious, working with chemicals and carrying heavy loads. In the mining sector, children engaged in illegal mining, well known as galamsey, are exposed to hazardous environments, and many die when galamsey pits collapse, killing young and old. In the fishing industry, children are exposed to extreme weather, physical abuse, and psychological trauma, and in the cocoa communities where cocoa is cultivated, they weed with large, sharp cutlasses, mix and spray chemicals, and carry heavy sacks during the harvest season, while others go into commercial sex exploitation in urban cities like Accra and Kumasi. According to USA Ambassador Robert P. Jackson, speaking to some magistrate judges at the West Africa Regional Training Center in Accra on Wednesday, June 21, 2017, on the theme, Adjudicating Child Trafficking Cases in Ghana, it is estimated that about 100,000 children are being trafficked in Ghana. If Ghana fails to address this issue, it stands the risk of losing assistance from US aid. Some causes of child trafficking include broken homes, unemployment, poverty, illiteracy, and ignorance. But things are changing. There is light at the end of the tunnel. The Christian Council of Ghana, through development partners, has made some significant interventions which, when built upon and upscaled nationally, would contribute to reducing and eventually eradicating the endemic trafficking of children in our society.
The Christian Council in the programs department works in 4 different areas. And one of the areas in which we work is gender and human rights. And then the human rights component, we work on the promotion of child rights and women's rights. The human trafficking project started way back in 2006, where issues of child trafficking were prominent in some of the communities in which we had already worked, in the south and then in the north. And so we decided that it was an area that council should have an intervention. And this intervention should not be a short-term intervention, because it has to do with behavior change. It has to do with the way of life of a particular group of people.
The council conducted a baseline survey in the Greater Accra and the northern regions. The project communities are Otiano, Kokrobite, Oshiye in the Gas South District, New and Old Ningo, Ahiam in the Pram District, Aitekwa and Manyakwono, Wekumangbe and Aklamanya in the Ada West District, as well as Bipe, Tolong and Kumbunku District in the northern region of Ghana. A baseline study performed ahead of the project revealed that many parents and other single parents in these districts are unable to fund the welfare of their children, so they resort to selling their innocent children for as low as 50 Ghana cedis. Several factors contributed to this. These include ignorance of parents and caregivers of the harmful effect of some activities on children, low appreciation of education, poverty, unattractive schools, lack of community surveillance of children, and limited capacities of key institutions to enforce existing laws. But now, these same children have hope for the future and are committed to reach the highest possible heights. The project has provided educational or vocational support to children who have been withdrawn or prevented from child trafficking.
I was once under child trafficking, which was very weird these days. And I was sentenced by a man who I don't know. I was sent to Gigi to work hardship. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but then by the grace of God, I was rescued and I was brought to this my town. Through this Christian Council, I was able to further up my education through JHS, SHS, and as well as I'm working in Amanes Company Limited. I'm now free to even operate machine and even label our gel containers and even our spray bottles. I'm now happy that I've been brought up from child trafficking.
A number of households has been reached with various sustainable livelihood and other social support services. Several communities have been empowered with problem-solving diagnosis and action planning skills to take their development into their own hands.
So we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the one to make a...
How did all these happen? What are the good practices that can inform similar projects? The project design was informed by a rich base of knowledge accumulated over years of experience.
We started in 2006 through to 2009. We had an evaluation. During the 2006-2009 program, we did more of sensitization on child trafficking, on the involvement of the children in worst forms of child labor, and indeed on the ills of child labor and trafficking because of the kind of work that the children were put to. After that, we formed the local action group for community ownership, so that even in the absence of the Christian Council, the local action group members will follow through with the agenda. So we realized that we need to also organize a rescue mission so that we bring back some of the children and use them to tell stories about what they went through. So the second project started from 2010 through to 2013. And indeed, we did a number of rescues. We brought the children from the Yeji area and then identified their parents, mostly mothers, and we started going through the process of reintegration. The process of reintegration was difficult because the people are so poor. Their status have not changed. And so it took a lot of work and a lot of effort to keep the children in school. So the CCG had to engage with the schools so that we will be marking them and trying to get them exercise books and the basic things that they need to be in school.
A holistic and comprehensive approach was employed in designing the project.
But this project is holistic because it is addressing the issue of the children, it is addressing the issue of the parents, and then it is addressing societal issues. So this is where we are now.
The project focused on community participation and ownership. It considered the factors that lead to child trafficking in each community and approached the problem from these roots. The effects also include stealing, gambling, smoking of weed or Indian hemp, uncultured and barbaric behavior, and many others. We also thank the Christian Council and Bread for the World very much and pray for long life for them. The women who have benefited are able to bring back their children and put them into trades and schools because they can now fully fund for their school fees. The Christian Council should not stop such assistance so that child trafficking will become a thing of the past. We are seriously fighting against the mess so that child trafficking will forever be the thing of the past.
Ni bamo basha wode jaga shino mi bien ni chuma na chuma die fitmo seasonal work ke lo amesha lo.
Before we got the assistance, the work we used to do was seasonal, and when we are out of the season, the women find it difficult financially sustaining themselves. When the Christian Council arrived, we embraced them fully. The lack of money is the main reason why the women send their children away. When we are out of season, people come around with money in exchange for the children to other countries. With the assistance of the Christian Council, trafficking of children is gradually coming to an end.
We are very grateful and thankful to Christian Council because they have helped the community women to minimize, not to eradicate, their poverty level. And they have also helped us to minimize the trafficking rate. People do not go for the KIA in large numbers as they used to go. It has now run down drastically.
Engagement with local authorities and existing social structures was also done as a sustainability measure. We, the traditional rulers, also help stop the act. What you have brought also has a link with what we have been working on. From now on, the various communities in the villages should get in touch with the headsmen, since they also come here for the children. They should be made to know that anyone caught in the act will be duly dealt with. The work we do here is seasonal. When we are out of the season, life becomes difficult for the women and their children. They therefore send their children away in return for money to survive. When we are out of season, people come around with money in exchange for the children to other places. With the assistance of the Christian Council and Bread for the World, trafficking of children is now being stopped bit by bit. Provision of sustainable livelihoods to reduce the burden of poverty was also ensured.
I am now into trading, and I thank the Christian Council and Bread for the World for coming to my aid. God richly bless them. We now pay school fees for the children and provide meals as well. I also thank the Christian Council of Ghana for this wonderful support. Greetings to the Christian Council of Ghana. With the Christian Council's assistance, we have kept child trafficking and child slavery. We now have money to pay our children's school fees. Our children are now out of slavery. Due to the assistance from Christian Council, you can see that I have with me my business items. Very big thanks to the Christian Council for this immeasurable assistance. I am grateful. My child who was trafficked and sent to Côte d'Ivoire is now back and has learned carpentry. My sincere and immeasurable gratitude go to the Christian Council of Ghana. May the Almighty God bless the Christian Council of Ghana and the Bread for the World. My children used to go in search of greener pastures in Accra, where children are being trafficked. These days, the children do not go out for greener pastures anymore. Through this work, I am able to pay for their school fees, as well as buy sandals, uniforms, and books. My children do not find themselves in child trafficking anymore. I have some who are apprentices and work under me. Christian Council and Bread for the World have assisted the community by reducing poverty, child trafficking, and child labor. They have increased the rate of school admissions into the various schools. God bless the council. I am now into trading, and I thank the Christian Council and Bread for the World for coming to my aid. God richly bless them.
Christian Council
I thank the Christian Council and the Bread for the World for locating me and giving me capital to start my buffalo business. Our business doesn't really flourish, and that's the more reason why we send our children to Yeji and other places in exchange for money. But the Christian Council came to our aid and advised us to stop trafficking our children. They gave us money to start business, and I am into selling of firewood, powder, and pure water. We thank the Christian Council so much.
Christian Council, you want to play near America. First, I know me and Wale, one year, you will be a hacker, man say.
At first, We didn't know that sending your children to other places for money is an abuse. When the Christian Council drew closer to us and advised us, we stopped the act, and the council has also given us capital to start our businesses.
Sasa wakawabia tete akosomo.
We also send our children to Akosombo. When the Christian Council came, they helped us a lot. They helped us to rescue our children from Akosombo and other places. We thank the Christian Council and Bread for the World so much for their assistance.
Mene wabia hi ebanyang ni amewa wo hu kecho wonuchumo gbe. Wabia ne won damishi.
At first,
the work I used to do wasn't profitable enough, but since the Christian Council came to my aid, work has been booming. I now sell rice to schools such as Presby and others. I thank the Christian Council so much for their assistance. Child trafficking has minimized considerably. Those that returned are now in schools, and those that are above school-going age are into trade. We urge the Christian Council not to relax, but rather continue to assist us so that we can team together to totally eradicate trafficking. We are ready to fight child trafficking. If the Council stops, it may come back again. We used to send our children to the south to do kayaye and other unfavorable jobs, but through the rescue mission of the Christian Council, we have brought them back and they have found something worthwhile doing. Thanks be to the Christian Council. I was a kayaye in the south, but through the assistance of Christian Council and Bread for the World, now I am a seamstress. I thank the council so much, and may God richly bless them.
Comprehensive monitoring and evaluation ensure that the project was kept on track in terms of meeting the objectives of the project.
When they give them support, we have our local arrangement helping them to do their work. Because when they started, some are using it for, some selling food, some buying granules and selling in the market, some sell rice, and then some of the farmers, we used to go to them and ask them how did they do it and how did they manage it. But when you get something like that, you have to manage and see what you are selling and you are buying, and then the profit will be coming small.
They are being guided so that the sales and profits that they do make after each market day, they do not need to spend everything. They have to save.
The project placed a strong emphasis on sustainability.
We have to teach them bookkeeping and how they can identify local raw materials within their community to work. And that is how this project has rolled up to this time.
Gains made must not be allowed to go down the drain. The project has been a successful one, putting smiles where they were hitherto not. All partners involved, including the beneficiaries, look forward to sustaining the gains made.
I'm urging everybody to support Christian Council, and I'm also warning the parents and the guardians to stop child trafficking, not to sell their child or push their child to Yeji or any other fashion or any child labor.
if you are caught, if you are noticed to be involved in issues of child trafficking, issues of child labor, child abuse, the law authorities will take care of you. It is not humane, it is not appropriate, but as an individual, as a human being, you benefit from the exploit and the vulnerabilities of other people. It is important that we give everybody the necessary respect and equity. Stop child trafficking, stop child labor, stop child abuse, because the law will catch up on you.
Child trafficking is a real setback, and it doesn't fit into God's agenda for children at all. And so the Christian Council is looking forward to see an end to trafficking. And indeed, the war is winnable if we have all hands on deck in a coordinated approach.